Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant. Today we are continuing the project here, which is trying to understand how Java and Spring Boot is working. So I will be going over these. I got this to kind of work, right? I was able to do the Maven Spring Boot run. It will do its thing, okay? And then I will be able to go to this endpoint here, okay? So copy that endpoint, and we are on port 8080. Does it give us the IP address? I'm guessing it's just localhost. Okay, whatever. So it's probably this one here, right? Localhost 8080. Yeah. So here's the endpoint. I'm just gonna, I'll close it out and then localhost 8080, and then path was hello, right? So we get this. It's working. Cool. So this was developed by Copilot, and now what I'm going to try to do is go into it and see, like, okay, how is it actually working, and understand what's going on. So first I did the Maven build, right? So like this one seems okay. So this is just like a bash script. Set home. Okay. Alright, so there's a lot of tabs open. This one I don't need anymore. This one is Java here. Okay, so when I do nvm build or whatever it is, what happens? Okay. I don't think it would. Hold up. What was it? NVNW. Okay, but there's a W in here. So Maven, right? MVN, Maven. But then there's a W. So there's something about that. Oh, it's run. No, it's not run. It's I'm calling this argument Spring Boot, and then a colon run. Okay. So common typo. Let's walk through. So there's no official build phase in Maven's lifecycle. So if you run this, you'll likely get an error. Okay. Use one of Maven's standard life cycle phases. Okay, life cycle phases. Compile, test, package, install, clean. What did I do? I did Spring Boot. See down here, I did Spring Boot. Okay. So what happens during Maven package, typically build? Let's say you run Maven clean package, okay? Well, what's a package? What is a package? Okay. Here's what Maven does. First, clean phase deletes the target directory where it was compiled, and files, or where compiled files and jars go. Okay, so something. Target. Here's target. Okay. So this gets deleted. Okay. If I do phase, or if I do clean. Okay. Validate phase. Okay. Checks that your POM is correctly, or is correct, and all dependencies are available. So that POM is this one, which we had to write dependencies in here for Spring Boot starter test. Okay, and then Spring Boot starter web. Okay. Compiles Java into class files and stores them in that target. So it deletes this target and then creates a new one. Okay. Package phase bundles your compiled code into a jar or war file, stores it in target. Okay, I'm going to see if I have a jar or a war in my target. Jar, demo. Okay, so I do have one right here. Classes, application properties with COM, controller. Okay, so I do have a class right here. Okay, sure. So it just recompiles it. Okay. Yeah, so what is a package? That's the first question. Number two, I actually did mvnw spring boot run. Okay. What is the difference in the command and spring boot run was not one of those, what did it call it? Lifecycle or commands you said I could run with mvn. Okay, let's ask those two questions. See what it has to say. All right. What is a package in this context? The word package means two different things in Java and Maven. Okay. So I've heard other people talk about packages in Java, and so that's why when I saw that word, I was like, hold up. This might be an important concept. Okay, so in Java, a package is a namespace that organizes my classes. Okay, so package com.example.demo. So this is a package within Java code. Okay. This corresponds to my folder structure, source main Java. Okay. And then comes the URL thing within the file structure. So it helps avoid naming conflicts, group related classes, control visibility with access modifiers. Okay, the question number one. A package in Java is the same thing as a library in Python. Okay, that's number one. Two. All right, so in Maven, what is a package? The package phase is part of Maven's standard build lifecycle. So, Maven package. This means compile my code, run my test, bundle it into these jar files, replace the target directory. So Maven's package means create a deployable artifact. Okay, so it just means like package it into something that's deployable. Okay. So what's the difference between the mvn package and mvnw spring boot run? Okay, so mvn package runs standard Maven lifecycle. Okay. Compiles, tests, and packages my app. Produces the jar file in the target. Does not run my app. Okay, it doesn't run it, it just like compiles it, essentially. So this nvnw Spring Boot run uses Spring Boot Maven plugin skips packaging and runs my app directly from the source. Great for development and testing. Does not create a jar file, but I just saw a jar file. It's right here. Okay. So Maven package bakes the cake and puts it in a box, but doesn't eat it. Oh, that's actually a very good way to put it. Spring Boot skips the box and eats the cake right out of the oven. Okay, I like that. That's actually, wow. This was very helpful in that analogy to understand that. Good job. Good job, Copilot. Okay, bonus. What is this command? It's a Maven wrapper, a script that ensures your project uses a specific Maven version, even if Maven isn't installed globally. Okay, so that's what's happening when I do this command here. It is eating the cake directly out of the oven. So it's not packaging my files, it is just running them, compiling and running them. Okay. So now I know that okay, well, let's ask this question, and then we'll ask the follow-up question that I know that I asked in the last video, but I can't quite remember what the answer was, which is, I know from my file, okay, the entry point is main, and it is source, main, Java, controller, here. Wait, where's main? Actually, yeah, where is main? Hello controller, okay. Demo application. Oh, here's main. So main is a function. Does the other one have a? No. Okay, so there's only one main function. I need to talk to Copilot more to understand that point a little bit better. Okay. So, let's see. I was asking about the Java package versus Python library. Okay, cool. So, what is it? This is a Java package. This is a Python library. What is it? A namespace for organizing classes. Okay. Python, it is a collection of modules, code I can import. Okay. Obviously, I know that like namespaces exist in like C++. It was something that I learned when I was a freshman, and then promptly never touched it ever again. Like we had one lecture where we talked about namespaces and then never touched it again. So I don't know if it's going to become more relevant and important in Java. Maybe we'll have to start looking into like, oh yeah, what exactly is a namespace and how do you use it? All right, so structure. Maps to folders. So it maps this package, the Java package, maps to a folder structure. That makes sense because it's that COM example of the demo, right? Which should be up here, right? Yep. Oh, wow. Here we go. Package, COM, example demo. So let's actually look at this. So I see COM, example demo, which is just a folder. Wait, it's just a folder. It's just a folder? And I'm not importing anything. I'm not like import, I don't know, import hello controller from this location. It's just this package and then a folder location. Okay, yeah. Actually, this doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. Good thing I asked this question because otherwise I would have just assumed, oh, it's just like a Python library. But actually, this is very different. So good thing we stumbled upon this misunderstanding early. All right. So, how to use it? So import. Okay, well I can do import and then a specific class. Import request or import from NumPy or from NumPy import array. Yeah, the scope usually internal to a project, often external. Okay. Whatever. So what's the closest match? Java package is most likely a Python module or sub-package. Okay. Honestly, like when I do Python, I didn't really know that there was a difference between a library and a module. That's going to be a good question. Just like it's not Java, this is a Python question. But I feel like it's pretty important to know. What is the difference between a Python module and a Python library? Okay. All right, so a Java library, a jar file, or Maven dependency is more like a Python library, okay? So the jar file all right, well, I'm going to ask this question first and then come back up to it because it feels like I need to understand the Python module and library first before I go up and learn about the Java one. Okay, so we have a Python module here and a Python library here. Module library. So, a definition, a single Python file containing Python code. That's a module, okay? A library is a collection of modules and possibly packages bundled together. So like NumPy, right? Like NumPy is this huge collection of software packaged together and that I can use. Okay. Structure. So a module is just one file. A library, one or more modules, often in a directory. So I'm getting it from an entire directory. Python module organizes code into reusable units. Python library provides a broader set of tools. Okay, so I think a module is more like an include, like when I'm including a specific file that I wrote that has just like function definitions. Okay, so I guess, yeah, I've been using modules and libraries. I just didn't know them by any technical name. I just, okay, import this file or import this library, and I just did it that way. Okay. So, an example is math.pys or myutils.py. Okay. All right, so coming back up to here. A Java package is most like a Python module or subpackage. It's a way to organize code within a project. So a package is just a single file. So this package here has a single file in it. Okay, that makes sense, right? A Java library, like a jar file or Maven dependency, is like a library. Okay, yep, that makes sense. So in our POM here, we did this Spring Boot or Spring Framework dot boot, and then we have another one like here, right? Spring Boot starter web, Spring Boot starter test, and I'm guessing this is like or from this location import this library, right? And this is a collection of code. Now, with a jar file, right? So like I'm getting the jar file or whatever that is, right? Now this one is I'm just importing a single class or a single like file which lives in this calm example demo folder, and there's only one thing that lives in that example or that demo, which is this controller. No, it's the controller and the thing itself. Wait, demo application here is part of that same structure, so it's importing itself. And there's two files, but one of those files lives in a different folder. Okay. A Java library. Okay, whatever. So example, package com example math. Public class calculator, so I'm just creating a class, okay? In Python, I just create this within this calculator py. Both are organizing code into logical units, but in Java, the package is declared explicitly and tied to the folder structure. Hold on, maybe what we're doing is telling where this class lives. Is that what's going on? Let me check the other one. Does this one have the same one? Yeah, see? It's telling it where this class lives. This controller class lives in the com example demo controller. That's why I said it's in a different thing. Like, I don't think I'm importing anything here. I think what I'm actually doing is just like declaring where it lives. Maybe that's what it means by namespace. I think we actually will need to dig into what a namespace is. Okay, well, and all of that. Okay. What is a namespace and how does it relate to Java packages? All right. So, a namespace. A namespace is a container that holds a set of names, like variable classes and functions. Okay, so we have something here. We have something here. By the way, I see more import statements. So that implies package and import are different. Okay, but anyways, we'll look at that in a second. We have a block of code, and this code contains right now just one class, and that class has one method, say hello, okay? So we have a container that holds some names like classes and functions, okay? We have that. And ensures they don't conflict with other containers. Okay. Without namespaces, two classes like user in different part of my code would clash. Namespaces prevent okay, so you can have like two user classes, but in different namespaces, and that's going to be okay. They're not going to clash because you're kind of telling it the scope. Okay. So in Java, packages are the language's way of implementing namespaces. So just I guess it's kind of like saying within this world. Like this is the world that you're living in. So within this auth namespace, I have one class called user, okay? But then in this profile namespace, this profile world, right, I have another class called user. And both of those users live in separate worlds and have different functions and variables, etc. Okay. These two user classes can coexist because they live in different packages, which act as namespaces. Okay, so com.example.auth.user. Okay. And then auth user equals new com example auth user constructor. Okay. I think that there's a fair amount to unpack in this one. First off, this right here is a type, right? I'm trying to see how Java actually even declares types, but I'm guessing this is like it's a type user, where user is this class. So I'm declaring the class. You're of type user class. Here's the object, okay, auth user. Then I'm saying to dynamically create or allocate memory. And then com example, so it's the same thing, com example auth. And then I access the user constructor, okay? And that gives me back an object, then I store it here, okay? So that's how I can use these. Okay. So this is kind of like, yeah, so I can have two users. I can have com example, what was the other one? Profile dot user, com example profile user, and then prof user equals new, and then com example profile user constructor. And then within the same file, I can call two separate functions, or two separate classes. Okay. And they don't conflict because I just say like where it's from, and even though both of them have the same class name of user, I can list the namespace and then call it. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, so summary of Java packages equals namespace. So namespace, a logical scope that prevents name conflicts. Java package, Java's implementation of namespaces, how it works, organizes code into folders and scopes their name, okay? Syntax is package com example my app at the top of the Java file. Okay. So yeah, when I do this, I think I'm just saying all of this code here lives within this world. Okay. There we go. And then all of the other code within this controller lives within that world. And then if I want to actually instantiate this hello controller, I want to see, do I ever actually instantiate one of those classes? I don't think I do, right? Spring application run demo application dot class, and then I pass in the arguments. Okay, so I'm not explicitly like evoking this controller class, right? I was hoping to see like, okay, well, how can I actually, that's another thing that I need to do is figure out how these two are connected. I'm guessing it's something to do with like when I run the Spring application. I don't know. But org Spring frame boot or framework boot Spring application. So I just clicked on Spring application and it auto grabbed this entire like location. And why is this org not calm? Okay. Okay, so this is my main. So yeah, let's start investigating from here. Here is my main. Can you explain every line of code? Okay, let's have it just explain every line and then we'll try to figure out which areas we might have some misunderstandings or confusions on. Okay, so this one. We just talked about this for like, I don't know how long. I don't know when I started, but whatever. So, this defines the namespace for my class. Yep, it tells the compiler that this class belongs to the COM example demo package. It must match the folder structure. Okay, so maybe if we change that and it doesn't match the folder structure, we're going to get an error. Okay. It helps organize the code to avoid class name conflicts. Okay, these two import statements. These bring in external classes from Spring Boot framework so you can use them in your code. Number one. Why is it org dot etc. and not com? Also, I am not seeing an org folder in my project like I do. Oh, that's cool. There's a little bird that landed out there. But I don't see an org folder in my project like I do a com folder. Where? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So number two. Okay. So import statements. These bring in external classes from the Spring Boot framework so you can use them in your code. So Spring application here. Okay. A utility class that starts my Spring Boot application. It sets up the application context, loading beans, starts the embedded web server. So Spring Boot application, the @, okay? But wait, hold on. When I press this @, it goes here. Spring Boot application. So it's just like the last item in this long URL. Okay. It in here, it seems that only the last item of Spring application is what is used. So I don't know, how do I use this import? I don't know, I'm just trying to get some question. Okay. So a utility class that starts my Spring Boot application, it sets up the application context, loads the beans, starts the server. Okay. A powerful annotation that bootstraps the entire Spring Boot application. It's a combination of 3 annotations: configure, enable auto configuration, and component scan. Okay. So just creating a class, that's fine. Creating a main method, okay. Starting the Spring Boot application. This line launches your application. So Spring Boot run, okay. I'm accessing the Spring Boot, whatever, file, no, not file, software, okay. And then I'm passing in demo application class, which is my own, myself, but then dot class. Tells which class to use as the primary configuration source. Closing brackets. Okay, so I'm passing in myself. Alright, well, I think I am going to leave it here for this video because I heard that Susie woke up, so I am going to go and see if we want to head into the office today or what's going on. And yeah, so I will leave it here. In the next video, I'm going to go over more of this file here, try to understand it, try to figure out like why is it calling itself, and figure out how these, okay, well, this annotation, we talked in one of my previous videos, I talked a little bit more about this like annotation here, which we'll dive deeper into that, try to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, so I feel like today was pretty good. I was able to understand the namespaces a lot better. I understand that this is now like this world, and then it has to, I'm able to have classes that have the exact same name, and then just call those based off of what I need, and then just name like, okay, well, it's going to be in whatever com, example, demo, profile, and then create an object from that location. So, all right, cool. I feel like so far it's been a successful maybe 1 hour. I don't know. I don't have a timer on how long my videos are. But I feel like it's been a successful and productive hour. I will see you guys very soon in another video. If you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you then.